everyone, and welcome to the Educational Webinar Jam. Today is the last segment of the three-part webinar series, and it's all about quizzes for online teaching. This session will be delivered by the founder herself, Maria Zahir. She is a highly skilled teacher trainer with extensive knowledge of the latest and most effective teaching methodologies. She holds fellowship in higher education and masters in TESOL and applied linguistics from the UK. Miss Maria has worked in esteemed institutions and received multiple recognition awards for her research in teaching methods and development workshops, which have proven to be both creatively innovative and best practices for an ever-changing generation of students. In addition to today's webinar, there are 4 more webinars coming up this month. If you haven't registered as of yet, kindly follow the link provided in the chat box to register. This month, it's all about using salient features of Google for creating interactive lessons for distance teaching and learning. On October 10th, we start with the basics of Google and progress on to more advanced skills throughout the month. On October 17th, everything Google with Pure Deck. On October 24th, it's all about using Excel for arranging grades. And finally, on October 31st, it's about creating a hyperdoc with the 5 E's. There will be a Q&A session at the end of the webinar. Please use the chat box to post your questions and they will be answered at the end of the webinar. If you wish to contribute to our initiative as a community service, please use the link provided in the chat box to submit your abstract for future webinars. Now, without further ado, I'll request Ms. Maria to enlighten you all with her expertise.
Hello everyone, and welcome to today's webinar. And I hope you're looking forward to get enlightened by another session by us today. Before I move on with my session, I would like you all to look at this picture and the captions provided under. And if you could kindly share with me and relate to which picture do you think your teaching style is or your personality is. So if you just look at all the captions and the pictures provided and the number and let us know one thing, why do you think this picture relates to you? So for example, are you 1? I'm a creature of habit. Or your number 5, combine things. So please use the chat box to reply, who am I? So look at the numbers and please share with me your thoughts about this. Okay, we have number 5. Why do you think so you are number 5? If you could just share your thought as well. There's number 6, number 8. Okay, why do you think so? Can you give me one reason? We have number 6. Great. Number 3, interesting. So we have a curious mind there, right? So we have interesting participants today. So we have lots more creativity people. We have little stress there, but I'm sure when you will go through this webinar, your stress will be little released because you will be empowered by a teaching and learning tool that will help you get your interactive element to your classes. The motivation will kick in and you will achieve better results with your online teaching. Right, so when we talk about distance learning, we embark on 2 different branches of distance learning. One is synchronous learning and asynchronous learning. So what does that mean when I say we are into distance learning? We all know distance learning is the instructions and the learning are delivered remotely as a whole course or a part of a course. For us, last semester was a part of the course was delivered. And then and educators are limited or there are some impossibilities of deliverance as well. But how do we harness that? How do we give the students the same experience they had in their face-to-face teaching by giving them a input or a teaching through 2 different styles, through synchronous and asynchronous. So what is really this is? So when you're teaching online, your communication happens in real time. For example, using a video conference tool, live chat, or even a phone call, depends how you are communicating these days with the students for your online teaching. So, okay, I'm done with all this. Why do I need an asynchronous element in my lesson or in my classes nowadays? And this is why. Because asynchronous communication does not happen in real time. This is basically used as a scaffolding. You can use that as a revision or record your lesson if you are into a cultural setting which allows you to record yourself. You can even record your whole presentation and recording yourself and embed your video in your LMS system or a learning management system and send it as a review lesson. So the combination of synchronous and asynchronous lesson or an approach is a good holistic view of how to give the students a full learning experience as they used to have it, and they were able to get a better impact through face-to-face teaching. So you may ask, what is Quizzes that is not in any other online app? First of all, it is student-based. The questions appear on each student's screen as they can answer the questions in their own pace and review the answers at the end. If some of you who are joining me from the previous webinars, and if you remember, the Kahoot didn't have that element. Kahoot would only display the questions on the instructor's screen, and the students just used to see the answers on their devices. But here, Quizzes give you that extra edge. The students will see the questions as it is appearing on their teacher's screen. So this is one of the plus points. It is void. You bring any device of your own and you can see it on a PC or a laptop or a tablet or a smartphone. So it is multi-device application in Quizzes. So what is quiz communication? For me, this element is excellent in Quizzes. It is teacher-paced. I can use a quiz that has been made at Quizzes and I can use it at my own pace. I can stop and halt at any time and review that question if I think before I move forward, I need to stop and review this question with my students, and then I move on from there. So this is excellent. A quiz communication is not just throwing the test to your students and they're going on and on with the questions, doing a mistake and moving forward. But here you are communicating, you are checking their pace at every stage of the lesson as you are playing that quiz is with you. And you will experience this when I will show you during the training session, during the training time. What else is there? I think we as educators always would love to know the outcome of our lesson or the day we have taught. So what was the actual outcome? What did students really learn? And what they really get from this lesson? So what happens is, once you're done with that quizzes in that class and as a synchronous lesson, your report is generated automatically. You will be able to see the accuracy of those questions, the questions that were hard for them, the questions they didn't attempt at all. So this is a very good tool for all teachers to even prepare for the next lesson. It gives them an overview of what was effective and what not was. So hosting a live quiz is something that is common that you have witnessed in other online apps, but it has an extra element. It gives you memes, it gives you encouragement stars and different thumbs up of applications that you will see when I will show you the live aspect of it. And the bonus point, like I mentioned, it is instructor-paced mode. You can pause and have a discussion in between your questions wherever you like. So what phase of the class can I use these lessons? So we as teachers, we just don't look at a holistic view. We think at different phases, how we can present something in a class. So sometimes we need at the beginning, just before the class, even a day before, when you want to send something to a student and maybe activate the schema or just to activate the background knowledge, just do something to help you plan for the next day. So goals and expectations for the next class is something very interesting. You can use these quizzes for before you even deliver a new concept or introduce a new concept. You will have enough information to know how to build on their prior knowledge. And during the class, sometimes it becomes a monotony of just giving lectures and not getting any feedback from your students. So what happens is, You may plan a quiz is in the middle of or during your class. You can have a quick debate or a concept check or just even a review of recap right at the end of the lesson, where you think, okay, now I want to know where my students stand before I move on. Even when you see that they are deconnecting, they are not responding to you, you can just bring it in between, pull up a quiz and share where you want to, and then that's where the things start, the action starts. After is something as a asynchronous tool for you, when you can send them as a study resource, follow up, even a test prep docs. So what happens is the quiz you have just used in your class, so you can send us in this as an LMS review lesson, and students can practice at their pace, replay it, redo it again as many times as they like, rather writing on the papers and clicking and going through a gamification mode, and the motivation kicks in. They get to know their responses, and so on and so forth. So here are some of the ideas I will add on to what I mean at the different phases of the lesson, how you can use it. For the goals and expectations, for example, lessons, you can share it as at the beginning, and as you can do it as throughout the week and different phases. That depends on you, how you want the students to respond. And an example I can say, you can share a video about the first expedition to Everest, for example, reading about Renaissance. It depends what subject you're teaching. So you're not just getting them engaged and involved and curious about the lesson that's going to be presented a day before, even just few hours before your lesson. So concept, text, and debates is also very important and a key element for any teacher, and getting the students involved, keeping their learning activated. So what happens then? You can pause and check with concept checks of Quizz, and I will show you how you can do that in your present PowerPoints and make an interactive element to your present PowerPoint. Interactivity lessons makes it a great way to kickstart your class. Yes, it sparks interest and it is teacher-based. You can move on with your slides, and a question, an interactive question pops up in between, and then you can see they are continuously engaged and you are getting responses. You get to know that your students are connected to you and not just yawning away. So asynchronous lesson, I find it a very useful tool. You can share your notes, like I said earlier, assign it as a homework lesson, and you get reports to the evaluation gets back to you. So borrow from external resource. I think it's an excellent tool for any educator, that she can or he can recycle a pre-made resource and give it an extra oomph or an element to elevate the interactivity into it. And you will witness this during my training phase. So I'm sure I'm making you convinced so far, and you're able to see all the great elements. So once I'm ready, what happens? How do I share it with my students? So you will need to share joinmyquiz.com with the students. As soon as they go to this link, this unique code is generated, and you will understand this when I'll show you during the training phase. Students need to enter this code and register with their emails. Once they register with their emails, you can start the quiz and keep on adding things as they like, and stop and pause and go on with the quiz at your own pace. So the reveal, again, is a very important element for an educator, where the reports are revealed, the outcome of that quiz is revealed, and then you can move on and see what happens next. Right, so what's next then? Okay, could you please kindly, all of you, use the chat box again, and the link provided is there, to share your thoughts about this thought-provoking question. So as a learner, what motivates you to learn? So it's about you, not, I'm talking about you as a personal experience of yours. As a learner, what motivates you to learn? If you please use the link provided in your chat box to respond to this question. And as soon as the answers appear, you can give a thumbs up to your fellow participants and response to it. Okay, so we have one response, some interactive activities. What else? Anybody else would like to share their thoughts? Colorful presentations, well done. Activities teacher, okay, great. So you can give the thumbs up to your fellow participants as well as you're responding. Some interactive activities is getting more score, variety of activities, well done, yes. Interest in the subject, yeah, when there are interactive activities, varied activities, that's where the interest comes. Interactive activities getting more votes, yes, interesting. Interactive discussion is also a very key element to it. Enthusiasm from the teacher, of course, nothing is successful without enthusiasm. Right, any more responses? Wow, some interactive activities. I absolutely love this, and it is a winning, I think, theme of this whole webinar. The whole motto of my webinars are about interactive activities, and this online tool will empower you with something to making students find the lesson more interesting. Yes, thank you. Well done. Thank you very much for your input. Let's move on. With the time constraints, I will move on with the next activity. Right, so let's get going. Now the action begins. Now you will see and witness what I have been telling you what Quizz really is. So what happens is, as soon as I click to quizzes.com, this is the website that shows up, right? So you can sign up the way you like to sign up. As a teacher, as an educator, it will ask you different options. I like to do it the fastest way, that is through Google. I think that's the simplest way. I will use my webinar account, and you can see the whole dashboard of Quizz. So as soon as you sign up, and the sign up is very simple. If you have a Facebook account or any other learning tool account, it is that simple. Your email address and your username, and that's it. You're ready with the sign up. So once you're ready, this is the dashboard that you see. So on your left-hand side, the white ribbon are all the features that I was talking about earlier. So, and on the black ribbon, again, they are similar features, but this new element is a lesson, when you can change your lesson, a static lesson, into an interactive mode, and I will show you during this training. So let's start with the best thing is when we as teachers want to save our time and do something, with just a quick tweak and do something straight away. So let me start with the bonus point, that is explore. So the explore is something that you can see right in the middle of your screen, where there are pre-made quizzes of different teachers or educators who have made it accessible for public to recycle for their teaching purposes. So there are lots of subjects like science, math, world languages, and you can use that and see where you are and which subject you are teaching, and you can recycle from there. So let me start with this one. I want to explore a pre-made hybrid quiz and how it is compatible for my students or not. So for example, I'm going to look at a science one. So if you can see on the top, it shows you the level you can use these quizzes for. So it is 6th level to university level, how many times it was played, what subject it is, and how many people liked it, how long it has been there, and so on and so forth. So below are the questions. These are all the questions that you can view are in multiple choice forms or MCQs. Now, okay, I want to edit a few. How can I do that? So I will click on edit button. As you can see, it creates a duplicate for me, and where I can edit this pre-made hybrid quizzes and change it into according to my liking. Okay, I like a couple of the questions, but I would like to change few or just add some more. So again, I will give you the quickest tip to do it. Rather thinking of a new one, let's search for one. So this teleport is an excellent resource there at Quizzes, where you can go through the question banks of, again, shared by different educators, and you can see the energy resources is there. So all the list of pre-made question banks are already showing up. So this was for the first one, energy resources. I can change to second one and see maybe they have a better question for me. For example, and these are all mostly in multiple choices. So what happens is, I'm happy with the first question. All I have to do is to add this question. And you can add as many as you like. I will just show you with one example, so you can just have an idea how you can add to your sets, pre-made sets. So you can see the questions were added right at the bottom of the all the questions that were already there in a hybrid set. So now I want to, for example, move this in some other order. Yes, you can. I want this question to be the first one. What happens as soon as I click on these three lines on the left-hand side, it gives me an option to move this question at any place or any point I want this to appear. So I moved up at 3 places. If you can see, it is moved up here. This was another question I selected. I wanted to go at another place, and yes, it did move forward. So it also gives you an option to move it at any place you want this new question to. So once I'm done, I will click done, and I'm ready. So this is something to tweak a pre-made hybrid test, and then you can straight away start with a quiz that is the classic, when students can use it at their own pace or an instructor paced. You will witness this in a while. And then you can even use it for asynchronous learning as a homework. So I will show you this element here. When I'm happy and I'm done with everything, I want to assign this as a review or even a concept building before my class. So if you can see, as soon as I clicked on assign for homework, I can create a date, the time when I want them to finish. I can assign it to a class. I will select from here, and I will show you in a while how you can create a class. For example, I want to give it to my grade 10 students. I'll go down how many attempts I want my students to take. So this is something very important, because lots of teachers are struggling how I can manage my attempts of my students. They think that the reliability of that quiz is not there, because students are able to change their answers or tweak their answers. But if you restrict it to just one time, I think it will increase the reliability of that quiz that you want to achieve the outcome of. Time you want the students to complete this and also be tweaked. Music, if you are into a cultural setting when music is not preferable, you can even close it. And my absolute favorite is the memes. So these are the memes. This center meme is mine that I have created. And they are pre-made memes that are already there, and you can use them. So my absolute favorite is my puns for animals. I can select that. And you can see all the puns are there. You can see if they're culturally appropriate or not. I'm happy with it. I will select it. And once I'm ready with all the options I want, and it is according to my liking, I'm ready to assign it to my students. So you can assign from here or on the top. So as you can see, just for training purposes, there was one student in there. Depends on how many students there are in your class, and it is ready for the student to go and play this quiz. So this quiz can be viewed as a quiz or as a flashcard. Accuracy level is there. How many students are playing it? They have completed it or not. So everything is showing right in front of you but whether it is in live or not, students are doing it or not, and are you achieving the outcome how it should be. So let's view the quiz. So if we start the quiz, what happens? I will show you the instructor mode. I will continue. What happens is you will direct your students to go to joinmyquiz.com and they will enter this code and they will be asked to use this. So I will just show you how students will also see it. As soon as they go to join.com, my name shows up, so that you can also allow them to have a anonymous participation if you like. You want sound effects or not? And you can see as soon as my students start joining, I can see that the one participant is there. So as soon as all your students have joined in, you can start. And this is how the quiz starts. So the question shows up. So this is like an open-ended question. What characteristics? I just give a random answer. Okay, I didn't get it. What happens? Time is showing out. I didn't get my answer. It wasn't right, so it's not showing up. So see, for example, this one, no. So what happens is my time, it just time lapsed and I was unable to answer. So this is how you can adjust and see where you can do it or not. You can adjust the timings and I will show you in a while where. So here you can see the correct answer showed. I was trying to attempt the first one produced by waste products. It was incorrect. So students can get the feedback spontaneously as an asynchronous lesson. When you are not there and they're doing the learning on their own, they can go back and check their answers like this. They can restart and go to the next question. This is that interactive. So even in the absence of a teacher or an educator, students are getting that holistic experience that they should receive from a teacher while they are in a lesson setting or in a class setting. Right, so this was something. So once, where did that go, which I just selected and edited? So if you go to My Libraries, or this My Library can be accessed from the top ribbon or the side ribbon, depends on your preference. And you can see the energy resource that I edited a while ago was created by me 8 minutes ago. So it is there and listing up as I am building on and creating on. So how would I create if I didn't get something according to my liking? I want to create something from scratch. So here it is. Lesson is an amazing new feature of quizzes, and you will witness this now, why. And quizzes is something that we saw, but I will show you different options. That was just a multiple choice. How can I vary my questions? So as soon as I create, I will select my subject. I want it for English. I will select my subject here and next. As you can see, there are 5 different ways you can change your questions and add your questions to it. And you can even do that by when you were editing in your hybrid test. So most of the questions were multiple choice. I want to fill in the blank. There's a poll. Poll is also an interesting way for you to evaluate, and I use poll for an exit ticket. We as educators know exit ticket is something that we pull up at the end of the class, and we ask the students to respond anonymously and say which part of the lesson they got and which part was still unsure for them. So it's again a good feedback time when you can ask the students before they leave the class to reply to an exit ticket. Okay, so again, the fastest view, I will start with my teleport, and you can see all English listed. I want to talk about just nouns today. I will search for just nouns, and you can see all the lists are there. I will just select one, read the question. I'm happy with this one. I will add, and it is automatically added. So I have one multiple choice that was already created. I can add more at different elements and different parts at different points if I like from the teleport or type myself. So, okay, now I know you can see even the icon shows that with the dot that it is a multiple choice. Now I want to add a fill in the blank, for example, or I want to add a poll. So let's start with the fill in the blank first. So you can say noun is, and you leave a blank for the students and let them answer here. Name of an animal person. So it's just, giving you an example. You can change the time you want your students to take to reply this answer. 60 seconds is fair enough, or you think it's your students are advanced levels, you want them to reply in 30 seconds, you can wait, it depends on you. You want to add a picture with this, I can add a picture, click on the image, already downloaded an image before, and I can add this picture to it. If you are a math teacher, you can add a math equation. And if you can see on the right side, this is how it will show on the students' devices. If any device, tablet or smartphone, whatever, or even a simple laptop, desktop. So this is how the question will appear. So you can see what your final product will look like. So I've added a picture, I've added my question, and I've clicked save. So it keeps on adding on. I want an poll now. So I'm happy with today's lesson, and I would like to use it as my exit poll or my exit ticket at the end of the class. I am not sure, for example, need more help. And save. So again, this was something that I added a different option. So doesn't mean it just restricts you to MCQs. You can have an open discussion as well. Before you start, I want to have an open discussion. For example, what are nouns? Simply. Whether check, you want your students to check whether they really know it or not, and you can reduce the time, 60 seconds for them to answer. It is an open-ended question, and you click and save. I want to move this question on the top before I start my lesson. Again, I will click here, and I will change the order as I like. So I want this to be the open discussion in the beginning. Then I want the question to come up, the fill in the blanks, and the exit ticket. So you can see this different variation of questions in just one quiz is already very engaging. You are involving them in different stages of a lesson in a different way in one holistic lesson. So this is an interesting way, and you get the feedback. So once you're done, you can add the grade you created this for. You can add a picture to it. So already, you have to download the images before from the internet. Subject, which subject you're teaching, which language you want to teach in as well can be changed. Grade from KG to university or professional development, depends on you. Do you want it to be public? Public means do you want the other educators to recycle your quiz or not? You can change the setting as well. Okay, I just want it for my purpose, and I click save. So this is how you can create something from scratch, and it is not very hard and not very time consuming. And it gives you a checklist as well, whether you've picked a relevant question, added a quiz, added grades and questions. So you can see it is that quick and easy. Again, I will press done once I'm happy with it, and I'm ready to use it right away. So am I clear so far? Are you happy with it so far, or any questions at this point, please ask before I show you the other elements of a quiz is. Are you happy so far, all of you? If there are any questions, please ask now. Okay, great, thank you. So okay, I'm ready with my quiz is, now I want a class. So what happens is you can have a class you can import it through Google Classrooms if you're using that as a portal with your students. If you don't have that, you can create a class of your own. So I will show you, but let's assume you don't have a Google Classroom. I want to create one totally from scratch. So for example, I'm a math teacher. So what happens, I've clicked my subject, or even I can give a name of the class like grade 10, like you saw previously. This unique link shows up. So you have to share this link to any social media or resource you're using to communicate with these students. So they will use this link, sign up for the class using their emails, and once they start joining in, they will keep on adding in your class. Sorry. Okay, I've copied, thank you. They keep on adding up in your class. So where it is, I will show you in a second. So these are my classes. I shared a link with one of my students. So you can see one student has showed up in my class. You can keep on adding them like this. You can, as many as you like. So which class I want to add them, I will share that link, and the number of students start adding up in my classes. So this is another way when you are teaching multiple classes and you want to keep a track of just one class and their progress, you can just compile one class there and check their progress from there. So, okay, so I'll keep on talking about the reports. So where are the reports? Where is the feedback of what I have just taught, and where are the results? So here they are in the reports. So we just created an energy resource I recycled with you at the moment. I showed you a live option. It shows how I've used it. I've assigned it or not, or whether I've used it as a live element. The topics are all listed. It shows me the total number of participants who have done it, the accuracy level, 50%, 33%, and the unique code that was generated when I was doing that. So you can see, again, let's click one which has more responses. And you can see one student has done it and all the responses are there. So these reports are very useful for a teacher. And these responses can be even viewed while you are playing it, and it shows up after every quiz you are playing. Right, so memes. What are memes? Memes are something very cool. They are already pre-generated sets that you can use, but there are some that you can create yourself. If you're not happy or they're not cultural appropriate to the setting you are teaching in, you can find your own and select on. So when you click on memes, this is one that I had already created. And there is one that I want to create now. So the webinar one, this was incomplete. Let me show you for the training purposes. I will click on that, create and correct. So there are the correct answers and the incorrect answers. So first of all, you have to download all those images on your desktop, which you want to use as the memes as they show up after every question. So I will upload an image from here. I want them to see this once they have a correct answer. I'm happy with the setting how it is. I will upload it and name it as a correct answer, and I will save it. So my correct answer is saved as this meme, and it collocates in the end once you're done with the set. Now I want incorrect memes. So it is, it is a very helpful tool for you to stay organized how you want it to be. You're not using all. So this is something I wanted for my incorrect answer. I'm happy with it. I will upload it. Incorrect answer. And I will save this. So you can see my one meme is correct. So correct memes, incorrect memes. So when I'm again selecting and assigning, a new one is just being created in a click of a button. The only effort is you have to download the images according to your liking and cultural appropriateness, and then make it a good meme that you can add in the end with the quiz. So let's see this as an example, what I mean when there is a meme showing in. So let me show you an example here. Let me play a context clue one with you in front of you and show you. So again, the participants enter with the quiz is like I showed you earlier, and my name shows up and it is showing up. This is your teacher screen, this is your student screen. So they're waiting for you to start. So the arrow has to show what is the right answer. I think, what do you think is the right answer? Who will help me cheat here? What do you think is the right answer? Time is running out. Please help me cheat here. Okay, do you think context is a setting? Okay, are you sure? What else? Okay, do you think it's a theme? I'm trying to lapse the time to show you how the memes look like. Yeah, I know setting is the right answer. You are correct, but I'm trying to show you when time lapse, what happens. So you can see the time lapsed and the student didn't get the right answer, so I got a 0. And, oops, sorry. I'm sorry about this. Let me show you another quick join. Happen to close it rather to move forward with it. And the lesson comes up, the things come up here. And you can stop it as well if you like. Some participants are yet, then you answer, it's okay, you want to stop it, and you can just stop here. So these are all the different options, and this is how the question looks like while they're playing. It's select setting, answer submitted, and this answer was correct. So you can see how the student gets the response. The setting was the right answer and the correct answer is there, and it is showing them it is green and they can move on from there once the time is elapsed. Right, okay, so I wanted to show you let me end this first, please. Here you can see the languages I was teaching in. The theme was classic, sound effects were there, 9 questions are still remaining. I can save and exit from here and move on from the questions I finished, or I can resume and continue. So this is again very paced and according to your liking and where it should be. So this is how things are, and you save and exit from here. So this is again the students mode, how it looks like. So let's get back to the instructor mode, and I'll show you the last element, that is the best element that Quizz have added, is creating a new lesson. So once you click on the lesson, you click on tryout, again adding your subject and selecting from here, and you go next. So I've created for English. The best thing is, again, I can import my slides. So import my slides is something that I had my PowerPoints, a static PowerPoint that was already created, and I want to add that and create an interactive element to my quizzes element to it. So what happens is, I am importing my slide here as a PDF. It is very important that you save it as a PDF. So I will upload a generic presentation, and you can see it uploads very quickly, and it converted my PDF into a slideshow. So I'm happy with this. I will import it. So I'm changing a static PowerPoint that was pre-created by me into a quizzes element. So I've imported as a PDF. Now I want to add the interactive element. I will add it from here. I will add my slides according to my liking with the 5 different options provided in the quizzes, or I can use the teleport question. So I would always like to have an open discussion with my class before I start. So I will start with an open-ended question like I showed you earlier. I can write the question here. How much time do you spend on internet, for example? I would like to add an image to it. I will again upload from my desktop. And next to the question, the image will upload. Now I'm ready. So you can see a very static PowerPoint quickly had an interactive element to it. I was able to add an open discussion, which I can direct my students before starting my lesson and ask them what do they think it is all about. So now I want to add a different element. For example, I want them to guess what the vocabulary word is. So I will again have an open-ended question for them and say, what do you think? So depends on how you are aiming your lesson and what is the aim of your lesson this picture relates to. So here you can have an open-ended question, or you can even add a restricted MCQ as you like. So it was related to this picture. I can change the order again, drag and drop it to the place I want it to be. So it was related to this picture. So you can see they will see this picture and the question will follow after. So again, a very quick interactive element was added straight away. So this lesson is, I think, an interesting tool that each teacher can use and change in their tele question. I will take it from a bank, for example. I will talk about internet to give extra vocabulary to my students. I will search internet, list show up. This is a different language. Let's look for an English one. There are multiple languages, so depends. Here it is. So this is English. I can look at what are the software applications used to access the web pages. It depends on what vocabulary you are aiming for. What is the aim of your lesson? I will select a multiple choice, so I don't have to think from the beginning what to add. So once I've given, I will click on it. It highlights the slide I want to move on, and maybe I want to take it up before I start and show my vocabulary to the students and ask what they want to do. So I want to move this one at the moment, a multiple choice. I just selected from my teleport and create the questions as I want the flow of the lesson to be. So you can see again how interactivity has created in just a click of few seconds and buttons. A pre-made PowerPoint of your own was changed quickly into an interactive element. So once I'm ready and once I'm happy with everything, I can even change the time of the question, of each question that I want my student to reply to. So for example, this was an open-ended question, but still I think it's just a vocabulary word. It shouldn't take more than 60 seconds. So I've assigned this question 60 seconds. I want the discussion to be longer. I will change it into 5 minutes or 3 minutes, depends on the aims of your lesson and how you've planned your lesson. And this is how you can even keep a track of how long your lesson will be, how long this activity will take place, and you can achieve better and better outcome of something that you have planned and made an effort to create a lesson. So once I'm ready, I'm happy with everything, I am ready to publish. Publish means I'm ready to start wherever it is, and again, assign a grade, for example, and it's published. And these were the elements that I showed you earlier, how you can start a live session and assign it as a homework. I'm sure you are happy to learn all this, and this is pretty much it for today. Over to you now. If you have any questions, you can again use the poll link provided in your chat box to direct me with the questions if you have so far about today's webinar. Please use the poll link provided in the chat box to direct any questions you wish to ask me. You may ask now. Thank you. Thank you for finding it very informative. Thank you so much. Any questions, please direct them using the poll provided in the chat box. Any questions or comments as you like, you can use the chat box provided. No questions? I think the link for registration for further webinars are also provided. And the abstract, if you want to contribute as with our experts, please feel free to do so. We have one question. Is there any way for students to work together to create quiz using this? I think you can direct them as a, that is more for Kahoot, I think, but individually, not collectively. They can sign in and do it individually, not collectively. Any other questions? Thank you so much for your participation, and I'm looking forward to see you all in our future webinars, and maybe some of you can contribute and call of link abstract and use and contribute in a further webinars. Thank you so much. Thank you for coming in and taking time, and hope to see you again. Bye for now.